We are back at Lockhart after 1 week off. Hope everybody had a great new year. And we are standing at the southeast corner here, and behind these stands we could see some new support beams right behind those stands. To me, that looks like support for a scoreboard. It's great to see. That's going to be a pretty nice sized scoreboard that'll go back there, video board, scoreboard, and what have you. As we pan to the right, there's your east stands. As we move further down the east side, we see this structure here that we saw being just like the early stages 2 weeks ago when we were here. So some nice progress on that little structure there. Now we're basically right under the east stands, where we could see they have started painting some of the beams pink. We saw this happening on the west side. Now it's moved over here on the east. So you're really starting to see that it's brand compliant, I would call it. Something else I'm noticing is these bathrooms that are underneath the east stands have now all been painted black. Some more of that branding. It's kind of hard to see. They kind of disappear with the black paint. On the north corner of the east stands, we can now see they've poured a bunch of walkways here in the corner section. So that's new. Lots of walking space. And here's that corner spot from the northeast. You can see a lot of that cement that was there. We can see inside the stadium, nice view. And over here are the supporter section. Now we're back over by the training pitches, still on the east side. This is the artificial turf grounds. So we peer over the fence. And here we can see that structure that we saw the beginning stages of a couple weeks ago. It's getting much higher. Some progress on that. And they've added more of this, what looks to be permanent fence. Much higher, a little harder to look over, going all along the training pitch area. Here in the back corner of the training pitches, we see this new big, tall concrete pole right next to these old wooden electric poles. It leads me to believe that they will replace these old beat-up looking wood poles, which would make sense. There are several of these along the property especially on the road between what was the baseball stadium and the soccer stadium, so that road between the training facility and the main stadium. This leads me to believe they're going to replace all those, give it a nice fresh look for the electrical wires. So this is kind of cool. All along the back training pitches, you can see these like manhole covers. I'm not sure if that's for drainage or, that's what I'm guessing. It looks like it's something to drain the water. But these are all over this back fields. I couldn't really notice it before, with all the dirt being pushed around on it. But now you can really see them clearly all laid out in a pattern. This looks to me like, the drainage setup for all the training facility and these back pitches, and there is a lot of it, which makes a lot of sense with as much rain as we get down here. We are now back in the very back training fields here on the west side, and you can see they are laying sod now on the farthest back pitch here on the west. This would be the northwest corner, putting down some nice Bermuda grass, some of that latitude Bermuda. You can see it being moved around right now. So at about another week, maybe two, we'll see the entire backfield already sodded. And then give it another month or two, and I think it'll be ready to go. Now we're looking at the back side of the training facility. See, they are working on some of the glass on this large viewing area. A lot of the grass around the edges has already been installed, so now they're just moving eastward. So we recently saw these slabs getting laid, so we can see now it's a gigantic generator, it looks like, right here on the side of the training facility. Here on the west side, we see another one of those new lighting poles or electric poles going up. And it looks like I was right that, all these old electric poles here, these wooden ones, are getting replaced, because here we can see a nice, pretty much finished concrete pole. So it'll look a little more aesthetically pleasing, as opposed to these wooden poles that look like they're barely standing up. I mean, a strong wind looks like it'll take them down, so that's good news. And it also just looks a little more aesthetically pleasing. And now we have the other side of the training facility. See the glass wrapping around. We've got our color scheme done. Got a lot of that yellow stuff going along the other side. And then as we look over here, that's a supporter section over there. And this is that structure we talked about last week. A lot of you think this is part of the club section or something like that here on the west side. I'm not sure. I did look at the plans just before coming out today, and I don't see anything there in the plans. Maybe I'm missing it, but I don't see it in the plans. But it's fairly tall. It looks about, what, 3 stories tall maybe. It's got a nice curved top to it, so it'll look architecturally, it'll look pretty cool. And we'll have to just wait and see what happens in there. But you guys are probably right. It's probably something club related. Here's a really good side view of that structure we were just talking about. It butts up right next to the supporter section. And then it's got that curved top. And then it goes all the way out. Look, a little overhang area, little walkway area maybe covered here. Like right about right here. You can see that covered area that looks like it could be like a covered walkway that come over into this building. Now we see our full west view, the club seats here at Lockhart. And one thing you could see is how they've, we saw them starting this a couple weeks ago, how they started closing it in, putting these solid black sheets up. And look how modern it looks once it's once those angles are in there. You can see it up here in this upper angle here. It looks really modern when it's like nice and solid. It looks really good. Something else I see here that's new. We've got an Inter Miami and American flag up there on the corner. I didn't see that here last time. Get a good view of that Inter Miami crest up there. As we move on the southwest corner here, we see a new structure being put up here. This wasn't here a couple weeks ago, so that's new. And then over here, we've seen these cubes here for a while, these bathrooms and so forth, and haven't seen a whole lot of progress on them. They're now looking a little more finished. They put a little more work on those. And this is the other view of those north stands where we see the beginnings of what we think is going to be the support structure for the scoreboard. All right, we're here on Stryker Boulevard, and that pretty much wraps it up for this week. We walked around the entire facility. We saw some new things. We saw some new electric poles. We saw them covering up the west side. It looks really sleek and modern. I think that looks really, really great as it's getting fully enclosed over there little by little. Saw some new sod going down in the back training pitches. So some nice progress. And also there's that structure that's on the west side of the supporter section, the west corner there of the supporters in the northwest corner. And you guys seem to think it's some sort of club section or something like that, which it very well may be. I looked at the blueprints. I didn't see it in there, but you know, I don't know what I'm looking at, and I didn't see any structure there. So maybe there's some revised blueprints I just don't have, but it's going up and it's looking good. Oh, and we got the beginnings of our scoreboard. How about that? A lot happened over the 2 weeks that we were away, and we'll be back here next week for sure, weather permitting. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.